Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Millennial Smark, and I'm back at it again with another video. Now, I thought about actually making this the opener for my intro for SmackDown, but I got way too much to say about this because this isn't the first time Meltzer has done this, and I wish we would stop trying to use him or try to talk about him as if he's an actual legitimate source. Now, it's over. Now, granted, I haven't sourced Meltzer in a few months now, outside of a quote, obviously, but actually going to him for legitimate news. I don't think I've sourced Dave Meltzer since he went out of his way to, and obviously, makes him a horrible person, but to go behind the back of the Anoa'is and announce Alpha's death when he wasn't dead. He died a day later, and from that point on, I haven't sourced Dave Meltzer yet. But here he is again, and Dave Meltzer, he has a lot of things to say about AEW and NXT. He really can't get it out of his mind that AEW is now starting to become more and more and more out of favor with most of the wrestling fans, because most wrestling fans nowadays are seeing beyond the bullshit that's being given to them by AEW, because it's essentially the same shit every single week. But they like to put a little twist on it, and then they say that little twist that they put on certain things, that's good enough to get you by. And by a little twist, I mean taking a pay-per-view match and putting it on television, even though that pay-per-view match that's put on television has absolutely no substance to it whatsoever, right? People are catching on to it. People are now starting to ignore AEW, and he just can't take it. He can't take it. And his bias is starting to show little by little by little. So now he's just outright mask off. Look at this, bro. Look at this. One person wrote, I won't say their name, he wrote, "It's funny to see all these NXT cooked AEW tweets from accounts who choose to ignore the 4 years prior of AEW whooping their asses, especially during that head-to-head that got Triple H removed from booking NXT." Which is fine. That's your right. You can absolutely have that opinion. Not going to be taken away from you. But we're talking about the same people who also go out of their way to make up 1,000,001 excuses for whatever metric of the day in order to say whether or not AEW beat Raw or SmackDown, even though AEW has never beaten them in Raw viewership numbers outside of like the occasional rerun special, whatever the case may be, to the degree that AEW, they don't have the balls to go up against WWE head-to-head on any of their actual main shows, and you have to use their developmental show in order to, say that you gotta own? And now that own has turned around, and now they're kicking your asses, and the same excuse you used for Raw and SmackDown, now all of a sudden you want to use it for NXT, even though legitimately NXT has the exact same audience numbers that they had while on USA. But go ahead, bro, make up all the excuses. But that's not who I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is the response from Meltzer, who jumped in and he wrote, "Pity them. Most know better since it's almost 2025. There was no actual race, but on Tuesday, one guy ran 100 yards. On Wednesday, another guy ran 110 yards. The guy on Wednesday ran his full 110 in the same time the other guy ran 80 of his 100, but they weren't racing to begin with." And what he's essentially trying to say, if you're not catching on, folks, is the fact that NXT happens to currently right now be on the CW network, and AEW happens to be on cable. So what he's essentially saying is them being on network and not being able to get, say for an example, millions upon millions of views, versus currently right now AEW being on the TBS network, and they're pretty much doing the numbers that they're supposed to be doing. That automatically means that, well, AEW is better than NXT, because had AEW been in the same position as NXT, they'd be fucking murdering it right now. Versus NXT at the moment currently should be doing better considering that they're on network and not cable. But AEW is on cable, so therefore they're doing much better because the standards are completely different. Let me say this one more fucking time, just like I said about this guy who wrote his comment. What part do you guys not understand, bro? The audience is right there. The audience is exactly the same. Look at the numbers from NXT right now on the CW network and look at the numbers currently right now for this. Okay, NXT has their numbers right now for CW. Now, look at their numbers when they were on USA. It's practically exactly the same. One may even argue when they went head up with AEW, they lost viewers. No different than AEW. And they stayed within those same brackets. They didn't go all the way down to 500,000. They didn't go all the way down to 400,000 in some occasions, 300,000 in some occasions. No, they stayed in the same bracket because their core wrestling fans are there and they want to watch the product. Whereas AEW started off at 1.4 million and then they fell to 1.3, then 1.2, then 1.1. I'm sorry, no, screw that. They skipped brackets. They went from 1.4 to 1.1, didn't they? And then they go from 1.1 to what, 900,000, right? And then they go from 900,000 to 800,000 to 700,000 to 600,000 to 500,000 to now you're trying to justify, oh, well, guys, I want you to understand that it's raining cats and dogs outside, and those cats and dogs that are raining from the clouds are now starting to attack people, and the people that they are attacking currently at the moment are all AEW fans, which means that they're most likely in the hospital. And also, you might be saying, well, they have cable in the hospital, but what you don't understand is that the most people who are watching right now in AEW, well, they're from Palestine, and therefore Palestine has no cable because, you know, those gosh darn Jewish people from Israel, they're messing with the cable. So you people should probably stop it with your, constantly going after AEW for their viewership number because, you know, it's raining cats and dogs that attacked all the Palestinians who currently right now are in the hospital, and Israel won't allow them to have cable. So therefore AEW dropped in viewership numbers. Completely logical, right? Super duper logical. No, absolutely. Yeah, no, Dave. Face facts. We see past the bullshit. We see your agenda, homie. I said it once and I'll say it again. It's pretty fucking obvious that you have some way, somehow, I don't know what it is in particular, but you have your hand in the cookie jar that is of AEW. Once again, I don't know if it's having to deal with outright giving Tony Khan some advice that's constantly backfiring and everything that you keep asking him or telling or suggesting him to do. It just sucks in the ratings. Maybe it could be people that maybe you're telling Tony that he has to sign for him to have a turnaround effect because Tony, for some reason, we know the reason, AOL.com circa 1994, am I right? For some reason, Tony Khan absolutely worships every word that you say because he thinks that you are the end-all, be-all when it comes to professional wrestling. Even though I've never known Dave to work for any major company. You know, you hear him talk shit all the time about Eric Bischoff this. Oh, he's such a failure at this. He's such a failure at that. He's such a failure at this. He's such a failure at that. Well, at least Eric was on a platform to fail. You talk shit about Vince Russo. Oh, he sucks this. Oh, he sucks that. Oh, he's a failure. This. Well, Vince Russo actually worked for both companies. What have you done, Dave? Oh, that's right. You're a step above me currently at the moment. That's what you are. You're a step above me. And you've been doing it since the dinosaurs have been roaming. Congratulations, buddy. Credit where credit is due. You managed to pull the wool over everybody's eyes in the professional wrestling industry who actually makes you be the end-all be-all as far as what credibility means to an actual wrestling company or to an actual wrestling match. And you somehow took all the marks who subscribed to your magazine and you made yourself close to a millionaire as close as humanly possible without ever having to work in the fucking business. Give credit where credit is due. You're one of the best workers in the history of professional wrestling. Again, credit where credit is due. And hell, you're even managing right now, and see, people can say whatever they want, Devontae, you're such a conspiracy theorist. Well, guess what? Until someone can prove me wrong otherwise, I'm sorry. You managed to work a fucking billionaire to actually, for the most part, give you a shadow wrestling company. Because make no mistake about it, Tony Khan may be the owner along with his dad Chad Khan, but in reality, the real owner is Dave Meltzer. You know, it's funny, a couple of weeks ago, he had the audacity to put himself in the same upper echelon as far as positions in the wrestling business as Tony Khan, Triple H, and Nick Khan. But to be honest with you, maybe he's right. Maybe he's absolutely like that. Maybe he really is, without actually having to work for the company, without actually having to be on payroll. Maybe he might actually be the Triple H to Vince McMahon in regards to him being in the position right now as an underling of Tony Khan. I mean, let's face it, almost every wrestler that's currently right now in the upper echelon in the main event scene, what do they provide right now that, for an example, people who could be in that position could be providing? You know, you have all these midgets running around, all these locals for the most part, could have cut a promo to save their fucking souls. No fucking standards at all when it comes to storytelling. Inconsistencies all over the fucking place. But that's Dave Meltzer written all over the fucking page, bro. You can see it. You can see the influence, bro. You can absolutely see the fucking influence. And look at the people that he has cultivated from a mindset who, for the most part, watch AEW and all the things that they're watching, the diehard marks that is. What are they complaining about? Of course they're not complaining. Because essentially everything that you're seeing in AEW is everything that they fucking care about. Cultivated by the mind of a Dave Meltzer. That's why people don't watch the fucking company. That's why people don't watch AEW. That's why normies and the casuals don't give a shit about AEW. Because the things that these guys care about is not aligning with what most people who watch television care about overall. Variety, reasoning, fucking reasons to connect with whatever character is on television. It's wrestle. So things are going to, by default, become inconsistent as fuck whenever you see something that's supposed to grab your attention. And Dave Meltzer is at the helm of all of that. Let's face it, folks, Dave Meltzer is the main reason as to why AEW is dying at the moment. I just wish he would just come out and say it. Stop trying to play people as they're like they're fools, bro. Stop it with the nonsense. Can I just repeat one more time what he said? What he said to a normal fan, right? This man said to an AEW mark, pity them. Most know better since it's almost 2025. There was no actual race. Even though when talking about NXT and AEW in a different light a couple of years ago, even though when he was trying to compare Raw to AEW in the early days, he was talking about the ratings the most, even though back in 2019, ratings didn't mean a goddamn thing. Remember that, Meltzer? Ratings didn't mean a fucking thing, right? It's all about overall viewership number. Then you backtrack on that and you say, well, I was talking about cable. Now we're talking about networks in general, whatever bullshit nonsense he said. I'm not speaking verbatim here. What you need to know is that he has a double standard and he backtracked on everything that he says when it's convenient for his opinion. But we see through the bullshit, Dave. The only shit that you need to come out and say straight up. No one ain't asking you to come out and say that you clearly have some type of incentive in regards to AEW. We don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I kind of have a feeling. I kind of have a clue. Don't know. But clearly there's some incentive there. But just come out and just say that you have a bias for AEW. I do it all the time. I tell people all the time I have a bias towards WWE at the moment. Just like about 3 years ago, I told everybody I had a bias for AEW at one point in time. I let my biases clear, known, right there, right directly in front of your face. I let you know what I look for in professional wrestling, and whatever company does it better at that point in time, they get my favorability in comparison to the other company. Not to say that currently professional wrestling is in a boom period. A boom. They're great. Frosted booms. Whatever the name of the fucking song is. My point being is, I let my biases known, bruh. Why won't you do that? Why are people so afraid of letting their biases known? Clearly, you favor something more than the other thing. Just fucking say it so people don't have to waste their time watching you, reading your bullshit, your nonsense. Just say it, bro. You're about as bad as CNN claiming we're not leftists. We're objective. Okay, we are mainstream media. We are straight ahead. We are down the middle. Anybody else? Shut the fuck up. Oh, give me a fucking break. You're down the fucking middle. You're down the fucking middle, bro. What the fuck are you talking about, man? You're about as biased as fucking fire is to water. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, what are you people trying to fucking do at the moment, man? Like, who the hell is really nowadays legitimately carrying water for Dave Meltzer and suggesting anything other than the fact that he's a clear puppet? And mind you, that's the sad part. And credit where credit is due. I'll end it on this right here. Dave himself might not even be the puppet. I personally think that Tony's the puppet. Dave has his hand up Tony's ass. Tony opens up his mouth and he just moves it. But the words are coming out of Dave Meltzer's mouth. Make no mistake about it, people. All the ideas currently being done in AEW, all the ideas constantly failing, all the ideas that keep funneling through whatever nonsense mindset coming from Dave Meltzer's bullshit pro wrestling mentality, all that shit is going down the fucking toilet. He's embarrassed. He needs to save face. He needs to make sure that Tony, what you're reading right now on the internet, ignore all that, because these are all fanboys. Never mind the fact that at one point in time you were a fanboy for me. Notice that all these fanboys who are telling you that right now professional wrestling fucking sucks and you're helping to contribute to the suckage, they don't know what they're fucking talking about. Listen to me. Let me kiss your ass. Let me kiss your ass by kissing my own ass. Bro, have some fucking shame. Like I said, we'll take you more seriously if you just come out and just fucking tell everybody the fucking truth, which is you are a biased AEW shill. With that being said, my name is Devontae. I'll be back later on tonight for the SmackDown review. Don't forget, 50 controversial moments in professional wrestling history. I updated one video yesterday, and I did one today. Check those out when you get the opportunity. Dave Meltzer, seriously, for real, just stop. Stop. It's been so... Stop, bro. Your credibility is shot. Goddamn, bro. It's so fucking annoying. My name is Devontae, and I'll catch you guys later. Deuces P. Ice. Calling yourself a fucking journalist. Yeah, you're a fucking journalist. Got your goddamn journalist degree out of a Captain Crunch box.